welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a brand new video. Now obviously you've clicked on this video if you are going through it at the moment, you're going through a bad time, probably in need of a pick-me-up. This is just my sort of motivation and just words to make you feel better and hopefully get you through this time. First thing to remember is this: you have been through so many other hard times in your life, and despite how hard they've been or how hard this may be, just remember that all those past times when you have had a bad time, you've always managed to get through it again and you've always managed to come through the other side. It might not be clear now what the path is or how you're going to get through the problem, how you're going to resolve it, but trust me, as time goes on, that path is going to reveal itself. You're going to find a way to sort of get around it or manage it better, and it is just going to get easier. And also remember that everything in life is either a lesson or a blessing. So this thing in your life may be either teaching you something to improve your future on how you deal with other people and how you deal with situations. It's going to be some sort of lesson in this situation, or it's a blessing, and sometimes it can be a blessing in disguise, because I've had situations myself where I've been, like, for example, dealing with someone that's like really hurt me, and when I look back I'm like, oh my goodness, it is such a blessing that that happened, because I wouldn't want someone like that that's going to treat me like that in my life. Or the situation is that you haven't got a certain thing that you want. When you look back on it, it's like sometimes you end up getting better, so it's a blessing that you didn't end up getting that thing. You see what I mean? It's always a lesson or a blessing, and sometimes when you're in it, like right now, it may not be exactly clear to you, but trust me, it's gonna get clearer as the time goes on, and hopefully, well actually not even hopefully, it is gonna get easier as the time goes on. Also, sorry, apologies if you can see the dog, she's walking around, she's sitting behind me now. Just remember that there is no one else like you on this planet, and if personally, you might not believe in it, but I believe in the universe, and if the universe didn't believe that I could handle the situations that were coming to me, then I would not be in this situation at all. Every situation I've dealt with, I've looked back and I thought, oh my god, now I'm a stronger person and I know how to move myself going forwards. I think the best thing to do is sort of let go of control of the situation. Sometimes things are beyond our control, and especially when it's the situation's to do with someone else's actions, because we cannot control someone else's actions. So letting go of that control will provide at least a little bit of relief. And also accept your emotions, accept how you feel, because fighting it, if you feel sad or angry, whatever it is in this situation, helpless, fighting that feeling is not going to make you feel any better. Coming to peace with it and saying this is how I feel and accepting it will make the situation so much easier to manage for you. Also, like at this time when you're going through something bad, please just try and put something good into your day, even if it's like one little thing that can help you to feel better. So like take time for your morning coffee, go out for a walk, do some journaling, some reading, spend time with your friends or family, or just listen to music. Just do anything at least once in the day that brings you some sort of joy or happiness, because when you're going through something bad, it's so easy to get wrapped up in it. Like especially myself, when I was younger, I would just spend my whole day fixating on this one problem or whatever was happening. That just made it like 10 times worse. So actually having time out for yourself and doing something to help you to forget and not focus on that problem can be helpful. Of course, I'm not saying put your problems all to the side, because you don't want it to build up if there's things you should be doing, but yeah, definitely take that time for yourself. And if it's something that you need to work on yourself to get out of, try and start small. Don't be so hard on yourself. Set small little goals, small little things you can do to change the way things are going, to change the trajectory if you're needing to get out of a situation, for example. Sometimes I'd put so much pressure on myself that I would end up being stuck in that situation for such a long time, because I was putting all the pressure on myself and then I wasn't able to do the things I wanted to do to get out of the situation. If you have anyone that you trust, any friends, family, even if you have like a therapist, anyone that you can talk to about it, that also helps. You know, that helps a lot. It helps you to firstly offload the problem, because keeping it inside is not good. And again, that's what I was saying all the time about journaling. Again, that's a good way to offload. But offloading the problem is really helpful. Secondly, talking to other people about it. Sometimes it can provide a bit of perspective, so you may see it through your lens, but someone else can see it through a different lens, and seeing how other people see it may sort of change your perspective on it or give you some new ways of trying to deal with the situation. Although what I will say is, sometimes like with myself, I always take from real life example, which is why I always give these examples, not because I'm self-centered, but you know, we learn from experiences. But for me, sometimes I would go to someone and I would expect them to sort of tell me what to do or guide me what I'm doing. I would say don't do that, because the way they deal with it would not necessarily probably be the way that you would deal with it. It's all good, of course, to maybe take their advice if you think it's good advice, but if it doesn't feel like the best route to you, then obviously don't do that just because someone else is doing it. Really step back and think, am I going to take this route because they've told me to, or am I going to take this route because it really is the best way to go? Weigh up like pros and cons of the situation as well. And if your situation is not caused by a particular thing happening in your life, say for example you're going through it, like sometimes we just lose our spark, we don't feel it, we're waking up every day and we're feeling like this is just not for me, like this. Sometimes you just don't feel good in yourself or happy in yourself, whatever it may be. I'd say again, all those sort of things that I've said would apply, because talking to other people can be helpful, taking care of yourself is especially helpful. Like I said, doing something that you enjoy each day, self-care as in like keeping yourself clean and moving your body and all those sort of things that I mentioned before can be very helpful. Also, like I've gone through my videos so many times as well, but you know what, in any situation you can always make the best of it through your thoughts and the way that you are thinking. So many times I would say that I was miserable and I was down and I was going through XYZ. But you know how much of a difference it made to change my mindset and try and think positively and just say try and focus on all the positive things that you have in your life, all the things that you're happy for and grateful for, things you love. Focusing on those sort of things will help to block out the negative thoughts, because sometimes the negative thoughts come and they're very irrational and not particularly needed. What I tell myself all the time is that I should be grateful. I have a roof over my head, I have food in my stomach, I'm warm, I have people that care about me, I have all of the basic needs that are being met and fulfilled. If you don't, that's a different thing. But if you do, it's a lot easier to obviously change your mindset and try and think a bit more positively. Every day I wake up and I try and I do some sort of like gratitude journaling. I don't do that often, but what I do try to do is a lot of affirmations, and I do that quite a lot because it helps me to sort of ground myself and remind myself of like what I have, what I'm capable of, and how great I am. And sometimes you do really have to speak it to yourself and really say it. And remember that if today is not good, you have an opportunity to change tomorrow. If you can't do it today, do it tomorrow. Or if you can't do it right now, there's more hours in the day that you can do it. There's always time to focus on the things you love and focus on what you like doing.